Oh, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crazy D's Equipment. Today we're going to have a discussion about what to do or how to winterize your tractor. Either you're going to put it up for the year and you're not going to use it again, or you're going to need it for this winter, and let's get it, let's go through the processes that it takes to get it ready for the winter time. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's sit down and have that discussion. Hey guys, we're going to use this old 8N as an answer. No, Daniel the doc still hasn't got this one done and on the lot yet. But it'll serve for our purposes now. So let's start with, because there's two different things. I mean, if you're going to either keep using it over the winter, the tractor over the winter, or if you're going to put it up for over the winter, there are different things you want to do for each. So let's start with, I'm going to put it up for the winter. So the first thing I would do before I put it up for the winter is I always like to do an oil change. I do at the end of the year, oil change on the tractor, if it really needs it or not. That way when spring comes, I don't have to do it again. So an 8N like this calls for 30 weight engine oil in the book. On mine, the one that we use around the farm and stuff, I actually run 1030 in it, and it seems to be just fine. I don't ever seem to have any problems with it. So, 30 weight sometimes can be a little hard to find, but you can use it anyways. The next thing I'm going to want to do is you want to check all your tire pressures. Make sure your tire pressures are good, because it's going to be sitting, and tires are going to go down. With changing the temperature, air in the tires expands and contracts and stuff. So go ahead and get your tire pressures to where you want them and where they should be. Maybe you needed to do that anyways from the change of the seasons anyways. So the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check my battery. I'm going to make sure that if it's one that I can check the top. Now, not a lot of batteries are like that anymore, but if I could check the top and make sure all the water or the battery solution in the battery is proper, I'm going to always, over the winter, when a tractor's being sitting, I'm going to definitely always put a battery maintainer on it. Especially, and this goes for that goes for the tractor, but also if you got a zero-turn mower or your riding lawnmower or something, definitely put that on. It's some reason those lawn and garden batteries, it's a lot of times if they sit over the winter and they don't have a maintainer on them, come spring they'll be bad. I don't know what that is. I've run into that multiple times personally myself. Years and years and years ago, I used to work for back when I was in college, I worked for a farm and an automotive supply store, and we come spring, we would get 100, 200 lawn and garden batteries returned because they'd gone bad over the summer or gone bad over the winter, correction. And so I definitely recommend to put one of these on it. That'll help. I don't guarantee it'll not keep the battery from going bad, but it'll help. The next thing I'm going to want to do is you're going to want to go to work. You're going to want to get your grease gun out, and I recommend you grease every zerk on this tractor. Now these are things you can do now, the changing of the oil, greasing the zerks, and all that stuff. So when it comes to spring and it's time to pull her back out of the shed, and you haven't had her out in several months, and all these things are done. So all you have to do is go to work and pull the battery maintainer off and fire her up and pull her out of the shed and take her and directly hook her up to the to the bush hog or blade or whatever you need. And the other thing is, if those things are done and stuff, let's say something happens this winter and you do need to pull the tractor out of storage. Those things are done. You don't have to worry about that stuff. You can fire it up. You can use the tractor. In my fuel tank, I would definitely, and this goes for if you're putting the tractor up or if you're going to keep using the tractor over the winter, definitely go to work and find yourself a good fuel stabilizer. Not a sponsor, but we are very, very fond of Seafoam around here, and we use Seafoam in all the tractors. I don't care if they are going, if they're going to go straight out on the lot and they're ready to go, or if there's something we're going to have around for a while and work on. I always put some Seafoam in there. This works in your gas or your diesel tractor, so it'll give you a fuel stabilizer either way. And especially if you have bought your diesel in your tractor early this summer, late fall, or late spring, early summer, and you've not used your tractor very much and you still got a half a tank of fuel, well, put this in here. I don't know how it works anymore, but back in the old days, diesel will gel, and if you need your tractor over the winter, it won't start because the fuel gelled. I don't know if they don't put that additive in there all the time now or not, but let's just be safe and put this stuff in there just to keep that from happening. Then the next thing you're going to want to do, and the final thing you're going to do before you shut her down for the winter, and this goes for if you're going to keep using her or if you're going to put her up for the winter, go check your antifreeze. You want to check your antifreeze. In my climate, you want to use your antifreeze tester, and there's a little gauge in here, and it will come up and it'll sit along here somewhere about where the your antifreeze is good for. And I know you guys probably can't see that, but around here about -22, -7 is good. You guys up north might want to go all the way down to the max setting of the -43 to -45. So, but here in the middle of the world, or at least in the middle of the states, that's pretty much will do the trick for us. So, one other thing on the fuel. If you're putting this tractor, and it is a gas tractor, not a diesel tractor, don't do this with a diesel, because you're only going to cause yourself headaches when you go to use the tractor again. But if it's a gas tractor, I recommend when you pull it into the shed, or pull it into the lean-to, or pull it into wherever you plan to park it for the year, that you go to work and you shut the fuel off and you just let the tractor run until it runs all the fuel out of the carburetor and the tractor dies. That way you don't have any stale fuel sitting in that carburetor, and especially with today's ethanol-based fuels, they really have a really good habit of gumming up a carburetor really quick. So I know maybe in the past you guys have been lucky and not had that problem, but eventually it's going to come back and it's going to get you. I do that with every single tractor that we park. I always take it in the building, I let it run until the carburetor's dry and the tractor chokes out and dies, and I make sure that the fuel's shut off, and it is, it's set up and it's solid that way. So those are some of the things you want to make sure that you do before you put your tractor up for the year. Now, if you're going to continue using your tractor, I would recommend that before the weather gets too bad and there's too much snow on the ground, that you go ahead and do it now before you need, and just be ahead of the game. If you're going to put chains on your tires, do it now. Why it's not 13 degrees outside and the snow's blowing and you're needing to do it now. Do it right now while it's still 45 degrees outside, and it's easy to put the chains on. They're not going to hurt anything for those chains to be on from this point, but when the snow is blowing and it's up to your knees or higher, and you're needing to get that driveway dragged or the snowblower pushed, and you're out there yanking and pulling around trying to get those tire chains around that tire, you're going to really wish that you did it earlier and that you didn't wait, that you shouldn't have waited for so long. The other thing I'm going to recommend that if you're going to be using the tractor over the winter, and you're going to be using it to keep the snow out of the drive or whatever else you're going to do, this is the time to double check your transfer case or your rear end. Make sure there's no condensation water in your oil in your rear end. It might be the best to go ahead and drain your rear end now at the transmission and put fresh oil in it, so you don't have any condensation from the summer months in there, because that water is going to freeze. And if you're lucky enough, there's not enough water in there to do any damage, but one of these times you're gonna strike out, and that water's going to freeze, and you're going to bust the rear end. And I've seen many tractors with a busted rear end because there was water in the oil from condensation over the years, and it just be one really good cold snap, and boom, cracked rear end. Come spring, all of a sudden it's got a puddle underneath it, and you're like, well, what the hell happened here? Well, you didn't do that. So, but those are kind of the things that I recommend that you do. That you go to work, get those things done while the weather's still not too bad, and we're still in the early months of fall. You know, the weather's weird now. It doesn't quite follow the paths and the directions that it used to. But long as we're prepared and our tractors are ready to go, or if they're are nice and snug as a bug in a rug for the winter, come spring we're going to be okay, and we're going to be able to get them out when we're ready to use them, and get that grass mowed and that hay cut and the driveway dragged and the garden tilled and put in. So, but anyways, guys, thank you once again for coming in and watching another episode of Crazy D's Equipment. I highly appreciate it. If you haven't, please do subscribe, hit the bell icon. Some really cool news is, at the time of filming this video, we are about 75 short of being 5,000 subscribers. And we will be doing something really special. Well, very special. That's better words. For hitting our 5,000 subscriber mark, we're going to do a live stream where you guys can throw your questions out to me and the crew directly. And I'll let you know, guys, when that is at the end of the video. And then also we will be posting something on the community part of the channel's page. So, but also, if you are curious what's on the lot, or you just want to look at pictures of tractors that I found, or that I've purchased, or that I found, go to Facebook, and you can like Crazy D's Equipment Facebook page, and Crazy D, or correction there, Omega Ag Sales. And you can look up and see everything on the lot. I got a bunch of new machinery that is going to be put on the lot here shortly. I just got to power wash it, and it's cold outside, and I don't want to do that. But eventually I'll get it done. But otherwise, guys, thank you for coming in, and I'll see you Wednesday.